What's going on, everyone? It is the Derf, and in today's video, I am going to be addressing Bungie's release of the Edge of Fate on July 15th. There is a ton of information out there in regards to what to expect, and I'm going to try to break it down for those that may feel like it is information overload and make it as simple as possible. We're going to go through a few key points, and I'm going to try to get you guys prepared for what to expect in this next expansion. Let's go. In this section, I'm going to be going over bounty preparation. If you are unfamiliar with what bounty preparation is, it is where you acquire as many bounties as possible. Here in this section that you see on your screen, you complete them and then you save them and don't claim them until the new season, or in this case, the new expansion begins. I'm going to be going over what is changing, what is staying the same, and what I will personally be doing to prepare for the Edge of Fate so I can get a quick jump on XP gain at the start of the expansion. For starters, Bungie has confirmed that bounties from Banshee, or also known as the Gunsmith, will not be continuing in the Edge of Fate. This means that if you pick up bounties from Banshee, make sure you complete them and claim them before the start of the new expansion, or you will lose them. Bungie has also confirmed that bounties from Saint 14, also known as Trials of Osiris, will not be continuing in the Edge of Fate, so make sure you claim them before the season ends. It is important to note that seasonal vendors, as is customary with seasons and or expansions, will not be continuing during the new season, or in this case, the Edge of Fate. So make sure, whether it is this seasonal vendor or failsafe in the helm, if you have bounties from either of them, make sure you complete them before the season ends or they will be going away. Bungie has confirmed that the vendors that will be staying, in no particular order, are in the EDZ with Devrim, the Cosmodrome with Shahan, Eternity with Zur and Starhorse, Neomuna with Nimbus, the Dreaming City, which is Petra, the Moon, Eris, and the Lectern, Europa, Varix, Nessus, Failsafe, the Throne World, Finch, and in the Tower, clan bounties with Hawthorne and armor synthesis bounties with 801. I'm going to be picking up all of the bounties I possibly can. I'll be prioritizing the weekly bounties so that I can get as much XP redemption on day one as possible. And that is what I recommend you do as well. In this next section, I'm going to be going over weapons. Exotic weapons, whether craftable or other. Legendary weapons, that includes craftable, adept, and of course, the question that everyone is asking, is it even worth continuing to farm for god rolls for weapons that you can't craft yourself? As far as exotic weapons go, exotic weapons will not fall into a tier system in the Edge of Fate, at least as of now, which means all of your exotics, like for example this Quicksilver Storm, will be completely viable in the new expansion. So now let's talk about legendary and craftable legendary weapons. Legendary and craftable legendary weapons with enhanced traits can, in your mind, be considered tier 3. But it is important to note none of them will be given a tier status. So all legendary weapons and craftable legendary weapons that you acquire before Edge of Fate, that were released before Edge of Fate, will fall into this category. This essentially means that current god rolls will still be viable, but they won't be able to take advantage of enhanced tier modifications. So this is leading to many freaking out that they will be severely underpowered or possibly become irrelevant. But as of right now, I wouldn't let your paranoia blow out of proportion, and here's why. An S tier weapon roll, in any legendary capacity will still outclass a brand new shiny weapon based on a combination of factors such as the artifact buffs and synergy with the builder playstyle, or just for the simple fact that you really like it and you like how it handles and shoots and kills the enemies of the Traveler. But if you get that same S tier roll in one of the shiny new weapons that get released during the Edge of Fate and beyond, same element, same frame, etc., you may want to consider switching anyways simply because you know the synergy is going to be the same and you might be able to squeeze a little bit more damage and or stat out of it comparatively. So this is going to lead to the next question, what about Adept weapons? Bungie has confirmed that Adept weapons will be given tier 3 level weapon status, but you will not be able to upgrade those to tier 4 and or tier 5. Again, this is all for the Adept weapons that you pick up before the end of the current season. So again, this essentially means that current God rolls for Adept weapons will still be viable, but they won't be able to take advantage of the tier 4 or tier 5 enhanced modifications. One thing I can tell you though is that the discrepancy will not be that much different. Consider ballistics versus enhanced ballistics. The difference in stats in the progressive stat is all of +1. So the power difference really isn't even going to be there at the beginning. So if you think about it logically, yes, everything that I just talked about could change. However, Bungie can't just make every other weapon irrelevant right off the bat. It wouldn't make sense. Think about Crucible. Think about endgame activity. Think about day 1 raids. Over time, the goal more than likely is to be able to update your old arsenal with a new tiered arsenal so that there is no vault overlap. Remember, we're not getting additional vault space right off the bat. So for those who have max vault spaces right now, yeah, that's going to be an issue you're going to have to deal with before Edge of Fate even starts. I'll replace a lightweight bow with Dragonfly and Incandescent with a new tiered lightweight bow with the exact same traits. So as you can see, that will not just happen right away. It's going to be essentially as close to a hard reset as possible without it actually being Destiny 3. You're going to have to end up upgrading and re-tiering as you go. So as far as what I'm going to do, here's where I stand. I'm going to continue to farm Adept weapons. I'm going to take advantage of those that will be able to get the tier 3 status right off the bat when Edge of Fate drops. This also means that I'm going to continue to farm for Adept weapons. So those of us that like GMs, those of us that like grinding the Rite of the 9, keep it going, because I'm going to keep it going. Keep in mind that Rite of 9 weapons are going to go away, at least the ways to earn them, once the new season and the new expansion drops. So you won't get a chance, at least right off the bat, to get those right away. So go ahead and keep farming, farm until your heart's content. As far as addressing my vault space, here's what I'm going to do. For exotics, I'm going to delete any exotic that I haven't registered a kill on in the last 3 to 6 months. This will not stop me from gaining new exotics that I don't currently have. As far as legendary weapons, whether craftable or non-craftable, I'm going to keep one PvE best roll that I have, and I'm going to keep one PvP best roll that I have, assuming that I have a roll for each weapon. For those that only play PvE or only play PvP, this might be an easier task for you than someone who sweats in both game styles. For those that are wondering how the next artifact will benefit specific weapons right out of the gate, here's a little teaser. For anti-barrier, it's going to go to scout rifles and pulse rifles. For unstoppable, hand cannon, sniper, and sidearm fit the bill. And finally, for overload, auto rifle, shotgun, and submachine gun are going to get you there. So when you're thinking about what you're going to be keeping for the next expansion, you can use that as a very, very basic guide as to what you might pull out and start using right away. Me personally, I'm going to try to get my vault down to as little as possible so that way I can continue to farm for new shiny weapons once the Edge of Fate is released. One thing that is important to note for exotic weapons, if you have catalysts unlocked for your exotic weapons, when you redeem those from your inventory or from your unlock screen, you will get the catalyst back with that weapon. So even if you delete a weapon that you have the catalyst fully unlocked and masterworked, don't worry, you will get it back. So if that is any consolation to someone out there who might be worried about deleting their exotics, That is just the way that it is. Again, Bungie, I guess, could change that, but I don't really see that happening because that's kind of how it's always been. One of the biggest changes coming to armor is that all of our armor stats will be changing. Mobility will become weapons, resilience will become health, recovery will become class, strength will become melee, discipline will become grenade, and intellect will become super. These stats will be changing for all armor in the game. One important thing to note is that for exotic class items, the specific role that you have will be edited individually to reflect the strengths. So there are 4 quick points that you need to understand right now. Number 1, all armor will be broken down from here on out into what's known as archetypes. Point number 2, archetypes will feature 2 stat boosts and 2 specific stats based on the archetype. These are the archetypes: gunner, weapons and grenade, brawler, melee and health, specialist, class and weapons, paragon, super and melee, grenadier, grenade and super, and finally bulwark, health and class. So point number 3, no current armor that you own before July 15th will be switched over and given an archetype except exotic class items. This means that all legendary and even your exotic armor, non-class item, will need to be reacquired and replaced so that it can be given an archetype. Only archetype armor will give additional boosts in the game. Point number 4, Masterworking armor, even exotics, will now add +5 to the 3 lowest stat groups of that piece of armor. I understand if this seems like information overload. If you need to repeat any of this with the armor, please do so. That way you can get a better understanding when you start looking at the armor that you have on what you may think may work for you once July 15th hits. So I have a plan of what I'm going to do with my armor given all of these new changes. It's a little wordy, but bear with me. For my exotic armor, I'm getting rid of all duplicate exotic pieces of armor and keeping only one role that I would consider to be the best role for my playstyles going forward. This might be tough for some, but it truly does need to be done to maximize your vault space. I'm going to be keeping all of my exotic class items. The reason being is that they're going to automatically be turned into archetypes anyways, and I can evaluate them from there. For my top 2 pieces of other exotic armor, before July 15th, Ada1 in the tower has a way to obtain a currency that you can use to get a quick start on getting exotic archetype armor of your choice. So I will be going to Ada1 and acquiring that and determining which couple of pieces of exotic armor will be worth using them on. You should do this too. That way, on day 1, you aren't completely lost without an archetype exotic armor of your choice. For legendary armor, I'm going to go through all my current legendary armor, and I'm keeping one preferred role for each location on my Guardian for each character by comparing it all to the archetypes that are coming out. The rest I'm deleting. If you only play PvE or PvP, this will be easier than if you sweat for both. But do it. 1 and 1, PvE and PvP, or just 1 if all you do is play PvE. I'm also deleting all but 1 legendary class item for each character. Do not bother holding on to raid class item armor either. Ideally, you want this to be an artifice piece. If not, then it truly doesn't matter which one you keep. This should solve your issue going forward with the armor that's currently in your vault so it doesn't overload you once Edge of Fate drops. So that is my take on how you can prepare yourself for the Edge of Fate release on July 15th. If you did find anything helpful in this video, please consider liking and subscribing. If you know a Guardian out there who could benefit from this video, please consider sharing it with them or send them my way. My goal is to help as many people as possible. If by chance you guys are looking for a non-toxic gaming community, I will have a link to my Discord in the description, and it is a very, very well put together community that loves helping each other out with virtually any activity. And come the Edge of Fate, if you are a solo player and things seem daunting, it might be helpful to have some pals to go around the galaxy with and figure things out. Anyways, guys, I hope you like this video. This is not my normal style of video, but I just felt it necessary to try to help anybody out there who might think that some of these changes are going to be too daunting to conquer. I'll also be open to discussing more specific details as they get released, but this should give you guys a good balanced approach to combating vault space, what to do about your weapons, as well as your armor, and how to prepare both of them for basically the future of Destiny. Anyways, thank you guys so much for your support and checking out this video. I will see you guys next time. Take care.